guys, so today I am going to be showing you how to get this look. I honestly, when I was filming it, I didn't know exactly what look I was going for, but I finally decided on this one, or it just kind of happened, I guess. And it's kind of a summer sunset eye look just because it's got a lot of pinks and golds, and it looks a little bit orangey in some places, like under here. So I hope you guys like it, and I hope you're excited to see a tutorial. I didn't get any professional lighting yet. I'm still just in front of my window. Before, I tried to film my tutorial back there on my desk, and it just kind of, it was really dark. So it's super hard to film in my room apparently because either it's too bright or it's too dark. So yeah, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get into the tutorial. Okay, so I have already primed my lids. I used the Urban Decay Primer Potion. I've been using this for about 2 years now. I really like it, but I do think that you can find other comparable products at the drugstore. I don't know exactly what I'm going to be doing today. I never go into an eyeshadow look knowing exactly what I want, and I think that's probably kind of weird. I think a lot of people probably start off saying, I want to do a really bronzy gold look today, and I usually have some type of idea, like I know what shades I want to use, but I never know exactly what type of full face look I'm going to be doing. So yeah, so I am probably going to be doing a warm look because that is pretty much 90% of the time that is what I do. Probably even more than that, probably 95% of the time I will do a warm look on my eyes. I just feel like it looks a lot better on me personally. I think a lot of people can pull off cool eyeshadows, but I can't. So the first thing that I am going to do, and I guess technically if I'm doing this you don't have to prime your eyelids. I've already done it, and I think it's just an extra helpful step. So I am going to be using, let's see, we'll start off with this one. These are the LA Colors Jumbo Eye Pencils, and I actually really like them, and they're super cheap. I think they're like $1.50. I get mine from a local store, so I don't know where you guys could find them. You might want to go online and see where you can get them in your area. But I think they're really pretty. They come in different colors. And so I'm going to be taking this shade here, which is Bronze Shimmer, which is actually like a gold shade. And I am going to be, let me see if I can zoom you in a little bit. Okay, so I'm just going to be taking that on the first half of the lid. This one's not overly pigmented, but most of them are. Let me go ahead and kind of do my best to rub that in. I just want this to be a very bold look, and that's why I am using this. So it doesn't have to be precise because we are going to go over it with eyeshadow. Okay, so about halfway, a little more, just because that wasn't intentional, just so you guys know. Then we're just rubbing that in. And okay, so then I am taking the other one in the shade Relaxation, which this doesn't look like a relaxing shade to me. It's kind of like a warm reddish copper color. We're just doing that on this half of the lid. And then to make that look not quite as messy, we're just rubbing that in with our finger. And it's okay if these colors mix in with each other, that's kind of what we want. Okay, so that just creates a nice base for us to put our eyeshadows on top of. I'm going to start off by taking my ColourPop eyeshadow in Flipper, which I have already raved a lot about. Okay, and I'm just going to take this from like the inner corner to, again, about halfway. And I love how glittery and sparkly this is. I think it's beautiful. I'm just going to kind of layer that on there. Okay, so then I am going to be using Shark Attack by ColourPop. And I find that it's best to use these with your fingers. I just feel like they go on so well that way. And this is like a nice kind of reddish copper color. So really we're just trying to build up that pigmentation. And that's why we started with the jumbo eye pencils. Oh, and I didn't show you guys, this is Flipper, in case I didn't show you. Okay, so now I just want the outer edges to be quite a bit darker. Hold on. What? So I am going to be using this shade here, which actually, now that I'm looking at it, I think will be really pretty for like in between those two shades. And this is Game Face by ColourPop. Once again, I love their products for the lid. That's pretty much the only place I will use them. You can make it work in the crease and everything, but I just think that the way they look best is on your eyelid where they're super bright and shiny. Okay, and since I think we lost a little bit of the power of Flipper, I am going to go back and put some more of that here. Okay, so that's for the ColourPop shadows. I am still going to be darkening everything out with actual eyeshadows. I feel like these are more of like a cream consistency. So I am actually going to be using my Eyes Lips Face, I think it's the 144 Natural palette. You can't get this in stores anymore, which is really sad, but you can still get it online. I think it's about $40, which is a lot more than it used to be, but it is still totally worth it. So if you guys find it, I definitely recommend getting it. This shade here, they don't have names or numbers or anything, which is kind of irritating a little bit, but it is just the left corner. So this shade here. I'm just going to be using a flat shadow brush. This is by Sonia Kashuk. As I said, most of the brushes that I'm going to be using are by Sonia Kashuk. I'm just patting that on the outside and working it towards the center a little bit. Okay, so now I am going to be taking this shade here. So it's just a gold. Urban Decay Half Baked would be beautiful, but since I have this palette with me, I'm just going to be using this shade. And I like using my fingers for anything that I'm putting on the lid, really. I just feel like it packs a bigger punch. Okay, so now I'm just going to kind of blend that out a little bit. I know a lot of people tend to start with the crease. Whenever I'm watching YouTube videos, they always start with the crease, but I always start with the lid for some reason. I'm not sure why that is. So I'm just blending that out with a pretty big fluffy brush. And okay. Okay, and I'm going to give you guys, just so you can get an idea of what it's like to use ColourPop eyeshadows in the crease, I'm going to show you how I like to do it. I'm actually using a blush, which is pretty much the same consistency as the eyeshadows, at least to me it is. They're a little bit, since this is a matte blush, it's a little bit more stiff, I guess. I don't know if that makes any sense. but it's not as wet feeling. And this is in the shade Trickery. I don't know though. Whatever, we're gonna try it. And yeah, so it's kind of like a corally pink. So I'm going to be taking a synthetic haired brush. This is from my Urban Decay 3 palette, or Naked 3 palette. And I like the brush on this. The bristles do kind of stain. This is a clean brush, so it just looks like that after you've used it with some heavy duty products. Okay, so I am just getting that right there on the brush, and I am going to work that in the crease. So you guys can see, you do get color payoff from that. It's just, it's not like using a typical powder eyeshadow. It's a little different. Okay, so now it looks a little bit more like a summer eyeshadow look. So I am changing my route here. Like I said, I don't have anything ever really set in stone. I think I'm going to be changing this into a more summer slash, you could still use it for foam, eyeshadow look. So I am just going to be using a duo fiber blending brush for this part, and I am just going to blend that in a little bit better. And this is the hard part with ColourPop eyeshadows. If you're not using them on your lid, it's a little bit more difficult to blend out, which is kind of frustrating for someone like me who really likes things blended. You still can get it to work, but I think using the warmth of your fingers really helps. But as you guys probably know, your fingers are not the most precise tools, so it could just be a little bit frustrating. So okay, so this is going to be another pretty weird step. This is Bella Bamba by Benefit. I think you can still get it at Sephora. I'm not entirely sure. I got mine quite a while ago. But it is just this pink, kind of little bit of coral blush, but I'm using it as an eyeshadow. And I do that quite often, honestly. It's got pretty much all the same ingredients, so it is safe to use on your eyes. Okay, so I am going to be using, this is my favorite brush for doing anything in the crease that you want to be a little bit more precise. This is a brush that I have no idea where it came from or how I got it or what brand it is, because it has nothing on it. And that's super frustrating because I can't tell you guys what it is, and for that I am sorry. But there are also a lot of other, you know, crease brushes that can do wonderful things too. So the reason I am using this blush for an eyeshadow is just because I don't have a lot of pink eyeshadows, like, you know, like hot pink or corally pink eyeshadows, because I almost always do natural looks. So the reason I am using this one is because I don't have an eyeshadow color close to it. So okay, so then we are blending that out. That's kind of just to give it a wash of color there, and then we're going to go and be a little bit more precise with this shade here called Mulberry from the Lorac Mega Pro. I know you can't get this anymore, but there are similar shades on the market. It is just a matte mulberry shade. I'll see if I can find dupes, and if I remember I will link them down below for you guys. Okay, so I'm just taking that on the same brush that I was using before, And I just want this to be a little bit more precise, so I'm doing that here. And honestly, this look could be defined as either fall or summer, depending on what your definition is, really. So you can deepen this up and make it look a little bit more like an autumn eyeshadow look. Or you can lighten it, maybe do like a champagne here for summer. So I'm just bringing the shade down a little bit onto the lid, that outer corner, because I don't want it to just be a harsh line and it look a little strange. So we're trying to focus that mainly right in the crease. We're not blending too much upward. So, okay. So now I am blending that in, and that's super important, just keeping everything really well blended. Sometimes though I do like the crease to be a little bit more dramatic, so I don't blend out too much. Alrighty, so I am done with the lid and the crease. So now for something in the inner corners, I think I am going to be using, I'm actually going to be using this ColourPop highlighter in Spoon, because as you guys have probably heard, I don't know if I mentioned it in a video or if I just mentioned it on my blog, but I don't like this shade. Oh yeah, I did mention it in a video. I don't like this shade as a highlighter. I feel like it looks just, it doesn't look good. It's too sparkly and has too much glitter in it. So I do like this as an eyeshadow though. So I am going to be using that right in the inner corner there. If you don't want your inner corners to look too dramatic, then don't use your fingers. I just like having it really bright. I know a lot of people are like, why do you do that? And I don't know. I just like the way that it looks, honestly. Okay, so over that, I feel like that creates a really nice base. Opal from the Lorac Mega Pro. I'm kind of just using the palettes that are in front of me. I'm sure you guys have plenty of shades that could work and could create pretty much the same look. But this has a little bit of gold in it. It's really cool. So like when you turn it, it could look either white or gold. Okay, so now I'm going to do the lower lash line. This is my favorite brush by Sonia Kashuk. You can't get it anymore, but I'm going to see if I can find some similar ones for you guys. It's just a small, fluffy, but it's really small. It's not too small, but it's pretty small. Just fluffy blending brush, but I use it for underneath my eyes. I'm pretty sure that's where you're supposed to use it. So I'm actually going to be taking the same shades that I used on my lid. But I'm going to be using just the ones from here. I don't need to do like double layer like I did with the ColourPop eyeshadows and then the e.l.f. ones on top of it. It's kind of overkill for underneath the eyes. I don't think you need to do that. Alright, so that gold shade I am putting first. And this is the same step that I do every time that I do my eyeshadow. I usually use 2 to 3 shades underneath here just to give it kind of like an ombre look, I guess. So we're doing that about halfway in. This shade here. Okay, nope, that shade. I'm not good at this. Okay. We're starting from the outer corner, bringing that in. Always start from the outer corner when you're doing this, just because you don't want it to be really harsh right here. You want it to be a little deeper and darker right here to match the lid above it. Okay, and then you're just kind of blending that in the center. Okay, so, I think I am going to take a little bit of this Bella Bamba blush and apply it a little bit underneath those two, just to give it a little bit of extra dimension. Okay, I don't know if that really did anything, but that's okay. And since I'm wearing Maxwell dressed right now, but I think it would be better if I applied this to my cheeks. So I am going to apply that really quick. Nothing special. Okay, so that's that. I am going to apply my NYX Wonder Pencil in Light, which is just a nude eyeliner, on my waterline, and I am going to apply my Rimmel gel liner to my upper lash line, and then I'm going to apply false lashes, probably the Kiss Shy Lashes, and then mascara, which is the CoverGirl Super Sizer mascara, and then I will be right back. Okay, you guys, so I finished doing my eyes, and then I just applied the Wet n Wild matte lipstick in Think Pink. So really inexpensive. Like the way these lay on the lips. I think they're really pretty and super pigmented. So that is the look, you guys. I hope you like it, and I will see you guys in my next video, which please leave me comments and suggestions down below because I am running out of ideas to film. I think maybe my next video will be a no makeup look because I obviously am wearing a lot of makeup here, but I wanted to show you guys that a lot of times for school and stuff that I have a look that I pretty much go to if I don't want to be wearing a lot of makeup. So I might film that next, but leave me your suggestions. Thank you so much for watching.